Welcome back to GiggleBoys. I'm your host, Eli Halpern.
And I'm Mike Eaton. And look, we're in the big room.
We are in the big studio with our guest, one of our favorite people, Ross Patterson.
Hi.
You probably never heard of him.
No, probably not. Probably not.
Oh, Daddy.
You guys are in the Drinking Bros set today.
Yeah.
You said, hey, can you come on the show and be a guest? I said, of course. I go, you mind if we do in the Drinking Bros set? And you're like, yeah, fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah, it's so cool in here.
Because the beauty of it is you guys are funny as shit. We asked you to be on the network, and you came on, and then we said, hey, you have your own room to decorate. And I was just watching your opening credits there. You've done nothing with it.
What do you mean? I got a flamethrower.
You have a flamethrower, a samurai sword, and then cricket something.
Yep, that's
GoldenCricket.com.
Yeah.
The future of protein.
Yeah.
Pre-sales open
Recently
now.
we took down the childhood picture of whoever. Was that you?
It was me as a child, yeah.
Yeah, we took down your childhood picture.
We
'cause
were both getting boners.
Yeah.
We were like, this can't be so sexual.
No, and I get it. I get it.
And we replaced it with some tigers from my dead grandma.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
How did she die?
Alzheimer's.
Oh, I thought
she
it was-
forgot to stay alive.
I thought it was from the Tigers.
Yeah, no, that would be cool. It's cool too because I always thought of her as a very racist lady, and then she had these cool Oriental tigers that she clearly bought.
Sure.
Or maybe
You know
got
they don't
from
call
one of-
them Oriental anymore.
If it's art,
Or if it's a rug.
yeah.
Yeah. And were the Tigers made, were they rugs? or
Yeah,
were
I got
they
a nice
actual
Jew
tigers?
rug.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about how bagels are like CDs for downloading Judaism?
Yeah. I think every time I eat one.
Yeah.
And then sometimes the Walkman is locked.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Had to. Because I still use a disc, man.
Yeah.
I think
Still
credit
use
cards
this,
are better for downloading Judaism.
Probably. I just watched, you guys watch Chappelle's new special?
Yes.
Yeah. Space Shoes.
Yeah.
I don't, is it me? Like, I didn't see any fucking problem with the whole goddamn thing. Or maybe,
No.
maybe it is me.
No, I didn't see any problem, but I also was like,
You're asking
man,
the wrong guys,
I
first
wanted
of all.
him to
Yeah.
be funnier.
Well-
it was so much, like some of it was very funny, but a lot of it was just like, he's so masterful at like spoken word as an art form.
Storytelling, yeah.
It's so interesting that even though it's not all pop, pop, pop funny, but like Shane Gillis' special made me laugh harder than Dave Chappelle's. But Dave Chappelle's special, I shed a tear for the trans lady.
Who died at the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually?
Yeah, I shed a tear. Well, I'm a big bitch.
So gay.
So, obviously.
I just gave away the ending, but whatever, man.
Oh, he talks about her dying in another special.
A
Yeah.
lot of the times I see these huge comics that I'm a big lifelong fan of, and I'm like, okay, a lot of these jokes wouldn't do that great at an open mic.
No, and the weird thing about him is because we went to Rogan and Chappelle when they were at Stubbs, right? So we got to see it, and so I'd seen what he was working on early on, but like he was getting rocked on these shows, and because we were in the front row, and I mean it was just getting absolutely obliterated, and I was like, man, is it because of what's going on at the time, or will this carry over into the special? And when I watched the special, I was like, shit. No, he was fine. It was great. I just think he's at a different point in his life where the storytelling aspect now has become part of his thing versus like, gotcha, bitch. Which is
He took a very Carlin-esque turn.
What bothers me is that a lot of his stories are just not true, which, not that there's,
is that real?
yeah, like
He didn't really beat up that lady.
No, but
or like when he gave away $25,000 worth of chewing gum in Detroit because he hates the homeless that much. Like he totally could have done that, and if I were him, I would have for that story. But he didn't.
how do you know he didn't? Let me ask you that.
I asked him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
And he said no. Nah, man, it was just a bit.
Yeah, and
No
then he bought
shit.
us all shots.
Oh, that's funny.
It's crazy
The
though.
Comedy
to me,
Store, baby.
I feel
funny.
like as a Jew, you would be like, how great that he got that story and didn't have to spend $25,000.
Yeah.
How are you not like on his side completely?
Our new CFO, we just hired as a hardcore Jew, like
Hell
practicing like Orthodox
Steinowitz kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes, cares about every fucking cent, and that's what you need.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody in Hollywood who I had, agents, managers, publicists, that was a must for me, where I was like, all right, great, they really fucking care.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird? Like if you hire a Jew because they fucking care, and you're just like,
Attention
all right,
to
cool.
detail, man.
Yeah.
They care about their paycheck.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
if you have
therefore
to
they're going
invent
to care about your
special
paycheck.
elevators for Saturdays, like you're going to give a shit about my paycheck.
That's kind of my like pitch to my girlfriend of how she knows she can trust me, because I'm like, if I fuck you over, it's gonna hurt me too, and I'm very selfish. I don't want to be hurt, so like, trust me.
You have a girlfriend right now?
Yeah.
No way. What is she going to say about the ringworm?
Her mom's a doctor. She's helping out.
Oh, she was the one? Because you had a medical emergency. You were late to your own show today.
Yeah.
What happened with the ringworm, and what did you show her first? And where is it?
Let's not go into that.
Why? That's
Because it's
life.
gross.
So what?
I feel like a leper. I feel like
Dude, I had
should be
ringworm
locked
as
in home.
as like a teenager.
Yeah,
so
small boy.
I used to have. This is the craziest visual if you can imagine. So in high school, I'm like a rich kid in Southlake, Texas.
Yeah.
So I've got bleached hair. I'm wearing Affliction and Ed Hardy.
Yeah.
I've got jeans with like rhinestones and like stuff on the pockets. And I'm driving a Dodge Ram Daytona edition, bright orange with the spoiler. You remember those?
It's a nice car.
And I would be picking up 20 to 25 bales of hay and then driving and carrying that out to the horses in my like Affliction and Ed Hardy to feed my horses hay.
You deserved ringworm.
Yeah.
And we had barn cats and they gave us ringworm.
No shit.
Yeah.
You know what's weird is like Ed Hardy and Affliction has made a comeback. Like a lot of Mexicans are wearing it now because it's at like outlet stores. So a lot of the guys that are out working by us, I see them in the store every day, and they're wearing like True Religion jeans and shit like that.
So
where you're
cool.
I know.
I think they look awesome.
So do I. Is it weird that I want it to come back?
So bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
I want it to come
Scary
back just so
Skulls.
I'm better than even more people.
I know, dude. Did you guys? Were you rocking Ed Hardy as well?
I was not.
I was.
No.
I was.
I wore tight pants and skater shit though. That was like
Okay.
a Southern California thing.
Gay.
Got it.
That's
Yeah.
way worse.
That's not worse.
No,
Yeah.
I had cool like ladies and roses with fun phrases.
No, but like skateboarders were cool. Like they did vandalism and drugs and violence.
Yeah,
People
and I
that
did
wore
all
Ed-
that with rhinestones on my pockets.
Yeah. And then it got ruined.
Those were hate crimes.
Yeah, those were
Whatever.
absolute fucking hate crimes.
Whatever.
I got to meet the fucking owner of Ed Hardy.
Christian Audijet?
Yes.
I thought his name was Ed Hardy. Who's Ed Hardy?
No.
No, right? No, it's Christian.
Idiot.
You know he's dead now, right?
No.
Man, died.
Can't believe I got that sad.
You're welcome.
When?
That's embarrassing.
When did he die?
A few years ago.
Shit, that's
He was so unimportant that none of us knew.
No, not that at all. Dude.
Whatever.
It was trending all over Twitter because everybody was like, "Yo, Ed Hardy," and like, will it come back again? I say yes, but I was doing a movie in like 05, 06, and I'd gotten a call from him, and he was like, "Hey, we've got this brand new brand, Ed Hardy. It would be great if you guys wore it in this movie," and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, all right, cool. And then never heard of it, never seen it, and showed up at his store. He invited me over to the store in Melrose.
Yeah.
And so we get into the store. It was like me and like 4 or 5 members of the cast and the director. And then he just locks the door. I was like, oh, what the fuck's going on? And he goes, and he puts the closed sign up and he goes, I want you guys to have whatever you want in the store. And then he just brought out bags, like 4 huge bags for all of us. And we just picked it off the racks and then brought it back. And he ends up doing the movie. I became relatively good friends with him. And we put him in it because he was such a character in real life.
Wow.
Yeah, that it was just like, holy shit. And he was a great fucking guy. And then cut to, 3 or 4 years later, Ed Hardy is... Everybody's like, fuck you. That Von Dutch was another one that everybody was like,
man,
fuck
they
off.
ruined it.
Yeah.
They ruined it because it was so cool.
And Christian made a fuck ton of money, and this is going to get dark. If you thought the death was dark, this is going to get darker.
I'm real dead.
Yeah, you ready?
16-year-old me is jerking off to this story.
Well, the guy I'm about to tell you about would have fucked 16-year-old you and then jerked off in your face. So,
Ooh.
Is
he around?
No, he's dead too.
Damn it!
No.
Spoilers.
Christian fucking rented the Michael Jackson mansion where he died in and OD'd in. And so Christian was the last one living in that afterwards. Yeah. He was renting it to Michael Jackson, then ended up living in it. And it was like $50K a month. And I was like, mine was altered when I was like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah.
That's so cool. Did it come with the sleepy stuff?
I hope. I hope.
Did you know pedophiles call non-pedophiles muggles?
Do they really?
Yeah. That's extra creepy because that means they think that by fucking kids they have magic powers.
Well, most of them do, man. That's the fucking dark shit of it all. Where it's just like, they've got their own secret society and all that other shit.
And it goes back like tens of thousands of years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I didn't know any of it. My co-host, Dan Holloway, he knows all about the pedophile shit and was like, man, even the fucking, the Alex Jones shit, right?
Yeah.
Because we've had him on the show numerous times. And he was driving this narrative home 3 or 4 years ago about the Epstein thing and the Lolita plane and everything else. And
Yeah.
and all of it. And I was like, man, I walked out of there because we had done his show, InfoWars. I walked out of there and I was like, I like Alex. He's a fucking awesome guy, and he's really
hilarious.
funny. And it's like, I think he's in on the bit, and like, I love Alex Jones. I would have him on any time because
He's 100% in on the bit.
He's that entertaining.
He's also right about everything.
Well, not the Sandy Hook shit, obviously, but
But he admitted and
recanted.
apologized for that.
he did. But at that point, it's too late. It's like people
Yeah.
were going to the parents' house and shit like that. So like, I understand what happened. But when we were there, is when he kept driving on this narrative of Chi-Coms, Pizzagate, all of it, and Epstein, and they got this Lolita plane, and then the Clintons are involved, and I was not having any of it.
I
was
closed
just
my
like,
eyes and you sounded just like him.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
incredible.
I was not having any of it. I left that day. I laughed and it was funny, but I left that day and I was like, yo, because the Sandy Hook shit, I think it just come out. And
Well, like you thought it was bullshit or was it disturbing?
Thought it was total bullshit.
Okay.
And so I did not. I was like, there's no way. I was like, everybody would know what this is. Everybody would.
Right.
And I went on the show because everybody was asking what was it like doing InfoWars.
Yeah.
And I told that story and I said, look, he's an entertaining dude, but I don't believe any of his fucking shit.
Yeah, if you look at all of the comments on YouTube, on all of any of Alex Jones' videos before the pandemic, every single comment is just like, Alex Jones is out of his mind.
Yeah.
This guy's crazy. This is what happens when you wake up and start drinking at 7 a.m., shit like that.
Yeah.
Every single one after the pandemic and Epstein stuff was became like public knowledge, every single comment is, holy shit, I can't believe he was right.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Alex Jones is right about everything. You know the world's fucked when Alex Jones is right about things.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where after it came true, I think the next time he was on the show, like I apologized for it, and I just said, "Hey, dude, I can't believe it." And he was just like, you know, a lot of the shit that he said, and that led me to this is a crazy story that led me to this. The next time we were doing the show, we were doing this end of the year special, kind of like a recap of the year or whatever, and we thought it'd be funny to have Alex on. And so he did the show, and I said, hey, since you predicted the Epstein shit or whatever, I was like looking forward into so we were in 2019 going into 2020.
Yeah.
And I go, what do you think's going to happen with the election and all this other shit and blah, blah, blah. And I brought up Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah.
And he goes, I think she's going to die right before the election. I don't think she's going to make it. I think it's going to throw everything into turmoil. It's going to be this whole thing. And I was like, oh, shit. And then it came true.
Wow.
And so we played that clip on like Instagram and everything else.
No
and
shit.
Yeah. I think with him, he does actually get a lot of info, like tons of
How is he
info.
alive?
I wish you would have told us about Norm.
Oh, I know.
That would have been a great fucking spoiler, Alex.
Well, maybe if Norm was fucking kids, we would have known.
Yeah, exactly. Norm should have been fucking kids. Yeah.
If it would have made him live longer, I would have let him.
Yeah. Did you guys know him?
No.
Norm Macdonald?
I was friends with his opener, Jeremy McKiernan, who's a hilarious comic in L.A. But yeah, that was it's such a sad one because there's so much of his content that I had yet to see that's gotten brought up by him dying.
Oh, yeah,
And it's
yeah.
just like now
Silver lining.
You
Yeah.
never get to have that.
I will say this, looking back at it, because the Chappelle special was dedicated to him at the end, which I was surprised by. I didn't even know they were friends
Yeah.
or knew each other. But going back through his career after he died, because I was a huge fan, all these little nuggets that he left along the way, it's like fucking Easter eggs. Like somebody...
Wait, Chappelle brought up Norm?
At the end of the special.
The very end of the special, there was a huge picture of them that just said for Norm Macdonald.
Oh, I didn't get that far.
Yeah. But the thing about the age, I didn't know either. That popped up where he was always lying about his age.
Yeah.
And it was really fucking funny. And so
He was actually 94, so it's not surprising.
Yeah, well, he would say it all across the board, and he would do it everywhere.
Yeah.
And so to test the theory out, when I had read this article, when everybody dies, they'll put out your shit on Netflix on the front page. So they put up the Norm Show.
Amazing.
And so I just turned on one random episode. I was with my wife, and I go, let's see if this is true. And it was Jane Fonda was the episode we pulled up. And he's hitting on Jane Fonda in his show. And, like, you can't tell what's a bit and what's not. And he leans over and he goes, how old are you? Which you never ask a woman. Jane Fonda didn't give a fuck, though. She was like, I'm 81. And he goes, great. He goes, I'm 64. So he goes, I'm not that much younger than you. I'm only 17 years younger. And it was like, dude, he died at 61.
Yeah.
And I looked at the date on this thing, and it was like 3 years before. And I was like, so he wasn't even close to that.
Yeah,
And
at all.
Nuggets like that. And then the other things of like him getting wrapped up in his own bits, especially with the Jane Fonda thing. Like, he kept kind of hitting on her. And you could tell, at least in my mind, I thought the bit was, let's make her so uncomfortable that she just walks off the air.
Yeah.
And Jane Fonda was like, cool, I think I know what you're doing. Fuck you. And as he's hitting on her, at the end he goes, hey, honey, how about a little kiss? How about you give me a little kiss, okay? And Jane Fonda was like, cool, man, let's do it. And then she leaned over. You can see there was one shot, if you watch this, and there's a look in Norm's eyes where he was like, oh, fuck, is this going down? She's grabbed him by the head and started making out with him. And I was like, and that's that, like all of it, you don't know. And that's what I love about him. You don't know what was real, what was not, what was for the bit, what was not. Same with the cancer, too. Like, leaving your audience just with your comedy and not like this sad man dying, I think is the best way to go out. But nobody ever does it.
Yeah. They take the Tig Notaro route.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Look at me.
I'm sad.
I never thought she was funny.
Same. She's funny as a comedic actor.
I don't know who
she
that
plays
is.
the straight man. Ironically enough. But,
Yeah.
there's quite a few people that I feel like get forced into doing like multiple things that should have just stuck to what they were really good at, you know?
Well, I think with her in particular, and fuck, man, I hate to slam like a fucking cancer survivor, but whatever.
Equality, bitch.
Exactly.
You want it? You got it.
Yeah, right? We're all equal.
Yeah.
We're all equal.
Equal rights, equal lefts.
But I didn't know her until she did that one special where she took off her shirt and, had the double mastectomy and then went into the thing.
Which is super brave.
It is, but like then.
I mean, Bert Kreischer does it every show.
Every single night, yeah.
Yeah, men always do it better.
You guys Bert Kreischer fans?
Yeah,
Huge.
yeah, big time.
Are you friends with him in real life?
No, not yet.
I met him once.
Yeah. He's a fucking rad guy.
You always ask these questions so nicely because you forget that we're nobody yet.
I don't know. Yeah, because the thing is, like, you guys are so fucking funny that I just assume that you're like performing everywhere and you know all these fucking comedians.
Dude, tonight I'm auditioning for the New York Comedy Festival.
Are you really?
Yeah, Creek in the Cave is having.
Oh, dude.
So because Creek used to be in New York.
Is that at 9?
Yeah, so they had this thing and they're like, they invited a bunch of Austin comics. But what's so funny, so I get this lineup for who I'm on the show with tonight at 9. And we're all auditioning, competing against each other. 6 of the 10 people on the show are people that when I started comedy in Austin wouldn't answer DMs, wouldn't talk to me. Like if I was like, hey, can I buy you a drink? They'd be like, all right.
Oh, so it's on.
So it's like all these people are like the old Austin comics have been doing it 4 or 5 years when I started.
Yeah.
And I leave to LA and I come back and they're like, all right, you can try for the show. So it's like, man, I hope I do good.
Do you want to fucking smoke them? Like, is that inside of you of like, dude, I want to fucking kill them
Mike,
tonight?
name names.
No,
You can say Colton Downing. It's okay.
No, Colton is actually
the only one who's
Colton's
cool.
actually the only one that was nice back then. I remember there was a open mic at Mr. Tramp's, that shitty ass sports bar.
Oh, yeah.
Up at like 180, like right by Cap City. So it's Sunday nights and Wednesday nights starting at 10 p.m. After like fucking soccer or football would be over, we'd go in this back room and do open mics. And Colton was always very nice to me. And now he's one of the owners of Creek in the Cave.
Okay.
So he booked me for it. But like all of the other people on the show are like OG Austin comics. So yeah, there's definitely like a competitive part of me that's like, dude, I'm gonna rip the fucking roof off. Like,
That's the way you should approach it. I was just there a few weeks ago. I saw Christina P.
Amazing.
Christina P. Yeah, she fucking destroyed.
she's so funny.
God damn it, dude. I was shocked. I was like, man, because I'd never seen her do stand-up before, but like, is she better than Tom? I don't know. I mean, she's really fucking good.
She's really fucking funny. Mother Inferior, her special on Netflix is great.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge Tom Segura fan.
Same. Look, he's awesome, but he's so good at podcasts that like, I don't know. I just assumed Tom is funny. I didn't know with Christina where it's just like.
I mean, even his comedy is kind of a podcast format.
It is.
Just,
Dude, Tom even talks about.
He's a good talker. Like a lot of his hilarious, like they're not punchlines. A lot of the times they're just like, okay, and then you laugh, and it's he just knows how to tell a story.
Yeah, he's a great storyteller. Same with Chappelle. Yeah, it's as you get older, it's less and less about how many jokes. It's about the story itself. What's your favorite of all time? Then let me ask you that.
For stand-ups, oh man, it's tough.
You had one special. To
One
watch
special?
over and over the rest of your life.
Daniel Tosh, People Pleaser.
Okay.
It's the one with all of the weird color names for the tracks. He was, so that's, I think 2018 is when that came out. But his jokes in that special are
Was that the one in Irvine?
I think so. But he has so many jokes in that special that I heard terrible derivative jokes I still hear them by popular comedians that are just worse version of jokes that he recorded. And what blows my mind about him is like, so for me, stand-up is an addiction. Like when the pandemic hit and everything was shut down and I couldn't do anything, I was doing Zoom shows because I needed to scratch the itch.
No shit.
I was like, I have to perform in front of people. I have no self-worth outside of stand-up.
How is that though? Because you're not hearing. Well, I mean, I guess you're hearing laughter, but
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I mean, it's not even akin to jerking off versus sex. It's like sending a dick pic versus sex.
Okay.
Like there's just like a little bit of a thrill that maybe there's a response, but it's that kind of thing. So I mean, Tosh, he goes and records this album, but he doesn't go and tour very often. He does Tosh.0. And then he just does specials and like records shit in Vegas.
yeah. When I moved to LA, he was on the marquee for the Comedy Store. Mm-hmm. No, I'm sorry, not the Comedy Store. The Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
And he was just Daniel Tosh. You would see it all the time, but he never did anything. And then he gets that fucking clip show, which is essentially America's Funniest Home Videos with a different spin on it, and explodes, and he has more money than Jesus. So good for him because he was at it for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw him at the Comedy Store or even the Laugh Factory. For that
Laugh
matter.
Factory, yeah, is where
I never
He's
saw
probably
him.
only done like 40 sets at the Comedy Store.
Yeah, I guess he was
This
just
is
so tied
way,
up in
way
Tosh
back
1.0.
in the day. I mean, I'm talking like 20 years ago. So
Okay.
yeah.
Who's yours? Who's your favorite stand-up?
Special stand-up is different than the special. So
Okay.
the special itself, I still have to go Martin Lawrence, You So Crazy.
Okay. I've never
I
seen
haven't
it.
seen that.
And it was because of the storytelling.
so white.
Same elements where he plays different characters in the storytelling where it's like talking about smoking weed with his best friend and shit like that. And then at the end, his friend is like, man, I've been thinking about you for a long time, about the Bucky Boys, you know, cute little ass. And he goes into these voices for each character, and you're just you're in it. And we were just like, oh, shit. And then at the end, it was
That's
like,
cool.
man, you about to suck your dick. And it's just like shit like that, where you just told like a fucking 6-minute story with all these characters to get to one joke, which is your buddy wanting to suck your dick as a child. And you're like, all right, great. And then it'll move on to other shit. He was one of the very best. And,
Yeah.
I don't know.
My favorite comedian is Doug Stanhope.
Oh, he's great.
And
He's crazy as shit.
yeah, do you know who Andy Andrus is?
Mm-hmm. I think he's going to be on the show soon.
Yeah, I've been trying to link you guys up, and
They just
they
got
never
booked.
got an email.
Yeah,
they got booked.
Yeah, they got booked.
Okay, cool.
Maybe 3 or 4 days ago. I saw an email for it. Paul Provenza and yeah.
Dude,
text
speaking
him.
of favorite comedians, we were talking about this. We recorded an episode yesterday that'll come out next week with our friend Radu Bandar. We were talking about sometimes you see comedians who like make you think like, oh man, that's a whole. I didn't know that was allowed.
Yeah.
And so this guy Casey Rocket.
Like Bo Burnham or Dimitri Martin.
I was going to say Casey Rocket because I wanted you to get to see a live version of The Worm Report. Eli and I both saw Casey do comedy in Austin. He had just moved here from Boise. And we were both like, holy fucking shit, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. And there's no way to explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so different.
If I had to categorize it, I'd say like absurdist and maybe like Adult Swim derivative, but he's really his own. There's no one like him.
Yeah.
And I've been doing stand up for I've been in the scene for 8 years, and I've been watching comedy for 15 years, been consistently performing for 5 or 6 years, and I've never seen someone that has just blown me away like this.
So I saw Dimitri when he very first got started in a basement. It was a Mexican restaurant in LA. In the basement of it, Whitney Cummings used to host it.
Nice.
And it was like Wednesday nights at whatever, right? And that was the same way that I felt when I saw Dimitri. And then little by little, it exploded, and then it became a fucking asshole. Yeah.
Did he?
Oh, yeah. So he had a show on Comedy Central. Jon Stewart produced it. Told Jon Stewart to go fuck himself.
Okay.
Yeah, because the first season was successful. And after that, it was like, and he did this Woodstock movie. He was the lead in it, where he was like the kid.
Yeah.
Like where they break down the gates or whatever, and it's my father's farm and all that other shit. So like he was the lead, it was his movie, and he thought that was going to be it, and the movie bombed.
Well, we actually have Casey Rocket in the
fuck
studio
Dimitri
right
Martin.
now.
Yeah.
Now, do you really?
Yeah. Are you guys ready? Are you ready to see
Do it.
the
Let's
real?
go to the Worm Report with Casey Rocket.
little ditty about Jack and the Worm. Two American kids laying in the mud. Hey, it's Casey Rocket. Welcome to the Worm Report. Big fun. Well, here we are again. Another stunning episode of the Worm Report with all my friends and family. Before we get started, I just wanted to give a shout out to my good friend, the Worm. Thank you, Worm. Worm never forget a birthday, and Worm always gets the best Christmas presents. I remember last Christmas, the Worm got me a brick, and I was like, what the fuck am I going to do with that? But I know it took a lot of work for him to get it to me, so shout out, dog. Thanks, big Worm. Worm for life, baby. All right, today in Worm history, the Dust Bowl. What were the worms doing? Fucking having fun. Eating mud pies and shit. Make a car out of mud. Drive it to the farmer's market. Who gives a fuck? Worms are flourishing and humans have dust lung. Number 2. How to tell if your baby worm's big enough for the big water slide. Probably not. Yeah. if he goes off that thing wrong, ooh baby, goddamn, he'll probably. Oh goddamn, he's liable to fly into space or some shit. You don't want to risk it. You know what I always say though? If he's old enough to slide, he's old enough to serve our country. Put him in the Navy. Put the worm in the Navy. See what he does. I bet he can float. Number 3, the trail of mud. Worms on the trail of tears. We remember when William Howard Taft kicked all the worms out of Oklahoma. Fuck you, dude. Why'd you do that to all our worms? And that's why all the worms live in Milwaukee now. I don't know if you've ever been there, but the place sucks, man. Worms driving taxis can't even reach the fucking gas pedals. Worms in the trunk of your car. Where am I going to keep my suits at? Worms taking our guns. How am I supposed to protect my small business, you piece of shit? And lastly, the Watergate scandal. What did Nixon really find in that hotel? Recently released documents from the Pentagon suggest he just saw a worm and a fucking lazy boy, and he got super scared. And he was such a bitch about it, he had to resign in disgrace. Loser. Fuck you, dude. Worm and a lazy boy, I'd give him a damn high five. And that'll be it for me. Another riveting episode of the Worm Report. Thank you.
My God, man. Where did you find this guy?
Rehab.
At comedy.
Fuck, he's good. That's really fucking funny. Is that what he does on your show all the time?
Yeah. The Worm Report, he just tells us about worms.
We've been in talks about maybe switching over to a different animal.
Sure. I wouldn't.
Same premise.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Do you guys have a sponsor to read?
We do. Yeah. Can you believe that?
And I can't.
I know Eli.
Our
cannot.
first sponsor.
Eli is learning about podcasts, and on them sometimes we do ad reads.
Yeah.
So I thought we would do.
I'm actually teaching Mike about podcasts.
I'm learning.
Yeah, you're learning.
Super Nintendo Skinner.
Who do you got?
You want to whip out
Mint
that,
Mobile.
Mint Mobile.
Mint Mobile. Yeah, they're an amazing phone company run by the sexiest man alive, Ryan Reynolds, owned by them.
I just saw their new commercial with Martin Short. It was him and Martin. No, I'm sorry. Who is the guy who played Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Rick Moranis.
There it is. Yeah. Ian Moranis.
I almost said Andy Milonakis.
I was going to say Ricky Duran.
Close.
That's incredible.
Close. You want help with this, Reed?
Yeah.
I'll give you some help with it.
Yeah, I would love some help.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, is that there's always a catch. So when I first heard about Mint Mobile, You guys, obviously.
Yeah, when we first heard about Mint Mobile.
Mint Mobile's on ours as well, on another show, so this is easy. Service is starting at just $15 a month. I thought to myself, where's the catch? But after speaking with them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service only online. By cutting out retail stores, there's no crazy overhead costs that get passed down to you in the form of mystery fees. Instead, Mint just passes on sweet savings direct to you. For people looking for extra savings, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. All plans come with unlimited talk, text, high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone or any Mint Mobile plan. Keep your same phone number along the way, or you can transfer all your existing contacts over and use a different number if you want, like if you're Eli.
Yeah.
God knows who hits you up in the middle of the night. I get the weirdest text from you, like fucking 1:30 in the morning, so God knows who else you're texting.
Yeah.
Just
That
you.
point. Change your number. And if you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/giggle. That's mintmobile.com/giggle. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/giggle. That way, you know what the reads are.
Now, yeah, that's perfect. That's amazing.
Did you do
Yeah,
them? You said you did them before.
Yeah, we were sponsored by Manscaped.
Okay,
And then,
cool. Yeah.
They canceled our sponsorship because Mike went on vacation.
Well, that's going to happen, you know?
Yeah.
That's going to happen with Manscaped. They were out of us. We were with Manscaped for a little bit, too, and then they were out. I can tell you the honest problem with Manscaped is their product was so goddamn good, you only really needed to buy it once. So it's just like, fuck, dude.
Yeah. Well,
For real. Like, I have one. Me and my wife fucking use it, and it was just like, all right,
That's what I'm saying.
Sweet. But what am I? It's a great product.
yeah.
You should be like, listen, honey, it's not called Womanscaped.
Yeah. It's not called bitch skates, right? God damn. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's a good time. I didn't realize that Ryan Reynolds owned that company.
Yeah, he owns a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So back in the day,
Two guys, a girl, and a cell phone place.
yeah, dude. Yeah. Back in the day, he put all of his money into like a lot of fucking crazy shit. He's real rich. Him
Like
and
the
Ashton
Shaq
Kutcher.
approach.
Yeah, him and Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
Ashton Kutcher's one of the richest dudes ever.
Dude, so I met Mark Brazil, the creator of that 70s show.
Okay.
And I was talking to him about Ashton Kutcher and about the hat, because he gave Ashton Kutcher the like trucker hat that he wore forever.
Yeah.
And that like sparked a whole craze that had like secondary effects in the promotional products world where I used to work. So Ashton Kutcher was
Yeah.
like the golden child of the hat industry.
I think it was a John Deere hat, right?
Yeah,
Was that the first
he did
one?
a Von Dutch hat for a long
That's
time
right.
too.
That's right, yeah.
But it was just the mesh back front hat. You know, that
Yeah.
was just that kind of hat got popular because of him. But so Mark Brazil was telling the story. Do you know about his beef with Judd Apatow?
Ashton Kutcher's?
No, Mark Brazil.
No.
So
Didn't
Mark,
he tell him to like go kill himself or something?
yeah, he says, "I hope you get cancer and die." And like they get in this like super intense email exchange. That's like, you know, like what I do on Facebook all the time.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like go kill yourself, you fucking piece of shit. And they're yelling at each other back and forth.
It's okay when it's to strangers.
Yeah, it's okay to strangers, but they're two pretty famous people. And then Judd Apatow just balloons to fame. And so when we're at this panel, like everybody's asking like your best comedy advice, and Mark Brazil just looks at the crowd and goes, "Don't ever tell the most famous comedy director of all time to get cancer." Like, that's pretty good advice.
But if he created that 70s show,
Yeah.
the last like 3 years they were each getting $1 million an episode. The actors were, so God only knows what Homeboy got. He's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
He's
Oh no, he's totally fine. He was doing the Portland Comedy Festival like as a favor, and it was like him and Bruce Valanche like hanging out
yeah.
on stage. Yeah.
Who's that?
He looks
Eli,
like
what the
me
fuck, bro?
if I just ate mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't know who Bruce Valanche is? Wrote all the Oscars, all that other shit.
I'm more surprised that Mike doesn't just eat mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Let's see, I used to play fucking softball with those guys back in the day from that 70s show. Half of them were
that's awesome.
Scientologists.
Yeah.
Was the creator Scientologist?
No, he was normal. He didn't try to recruit me or anything.
What's the deal with that Scientology in Hollywood?
I can't figure it out. So I used to play with Danny and those guys on a softball league. right across the street from the studio. And I'd kind of fill in here and there because we were shooting movies and all that other shit. And they were great guys.
Yeah.
I didn't, like, he's going through some fucking aggressive, he's going through
Well,
a
he
full
did some
rape trial
rapes,
right now.
right?
Yeah. I don't know. And that's the thing is with Scientology, I don't know what the fuck goes on in
Well,
there.
I actually went to the Scientology centers in Hollywood when I lived there on a number of occasions. And
For parties or to actually be in it?
I just wanted to see what was going on.
Okay.
So the first time I went, I was, this is like peak alcoholism. I'm drinking a beer on the way in there. And I take the tour. I ask him a little about, who's the alien god?
L.
from
Ron
South
Hubbard?
Park?
Oh,
Xerxes or not.
Xenu.
Xenu, yeah. I'm asking about Xenu. They're kind of brushing it off.
Is he here?
Yeah.
Can I meet him?
And then they take me into a room and they're like, so what do you think you need help on? And I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm pretty fucking perfect. And then I guess if I had one thing, it'd be my alcoholism. And they're like, okay, well, we have a class. It's $250. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not trying to spend any money. And he's like, okay, well, we have a brochure that, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll take a brochure. And he's like, yeah, it's $5. And again, I'm not trying to spend any money. He's like, you're not trying to spend $5? And I was like, no. And they were pretty much just like, all right, well, kind of like go fuck yourself. We want your money. So the way I interpreted it as was a college of therapy. Like you sign up for these classes that are like self-help.
So I have an alternative theory about it. And
Yeah?
it's a theory. Like I have no idea if it's fucking true or not. I have had a couple friends go into it, but they were super fucked up. Like one was an alcoholic, one was a drug addict. And I think they take people at these low moments and then tell them that it's self-help and therapy and everything else.
Low
And then-
moments, high net worth.
Yes. And then they get all their money from them. Even if, I don't even think most of these people are crazy rich or anything, but it's people willing and like to be willing enough to part with their money.
Yeah.
So I had a friend who did a similar thing that you did. You take an IQ test, or at least you did back in the day. So she went in there and she was like, fuck this. I want to see what this is all about. Took the IQ test. Now, the thing about it is you can't be too high or too low. You've got to be right in the middle so they can fucking brainwash you and do all the shit.
Like being a cop.
Like, fuck, man. There's a bunch of shit like that where it's this mentality of like, hey, dude, we can change everything about you and all that other shit. And you come out of there like fucking selling those pyramid schemes for makeup.
It is.
Shit.
It's 100%. It's
The
just
second-
Sensi for God.
Yeah.
The second time I went to a Scientology center, they asked me to leave.
Oh, they did. So
They had
were
a
like, hey, you
comedy
gotta get
open
the fuck
mic.
outta
Because
here.
they had a very long, like, fill in the bubbles about my personality traits. And I was like, I don't want to sit here for an hour and a half. So I just filled them in very fast. And they were like, how'd you do that so fast? And I was like, I'm really good with paperwork.
Xenu told me.
And they were like, you're going to have to leave. You're not taking this seriously. And I think I caused a bit of a scene. I just started yelling about Xenu. I was hammered. It was hilarious, but
Yeah. You just started yelling about Xeno and shit?
and then they had me hold the Thetan measurers. Thetan measurer. You hold these two rods,
Right.
and they're like, hold them very still. And then I'm just squeezing them, and the thing's going up, and I'm like, these are just pressure sensitive. And they're like, you're not supposed to do that. And I was like, well, naturally, I'm going to involuntarily clench my fist if I'm holding something. So this device is not really good for anything other than telling how hard I can squeeze.
Yeah.
So I have a friend that grew up in like the C ward of Scientology. So
C
Oh,
word?
no shit.
So he had to do essentially slave labor.
Yeah.
And was pretty traumatized by the whole event. And he became a very popular YouTuber. I won't say his name because I don't want to drop all of his business like that and then out him. But
Is he still in Scientology?
no, he left Scientology. He got out of it. Now he's in the loan officer world, which is where I met him. So that was my last job in LA. It was coaching loan officers. if
No
you can believe
shit.
it. Yeah.
Why are loan officers such scumbags?
Not all of them are, but quite.
I was a loan officer. I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, I think it's because it's like one of those jobs like realtor where there's almost no barrier to entry. Like if you just have desperation and the willingness to pick up a phone, you can make a pretty good chunk of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just lied on my resume.
Yeah.
I think that is the best advice you can give people who are looking for jobs.
You've got to lie about everything, and then when you get caught, it's super embarrassing.
So?
You ever been
By the
caught?
time you get caught, you have already made money.
No, there was one gig that I lied and
Yeah?
show up and they didn't pay me and they were like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh shit. So
Was it for entertainment stuff?
It was, yeah. And I lied about it was shooting a fucking.
I guess I'm saying more corporate stuff.
Oh,
Like I have a
maybe.
friend who just got a job at Google,
Really?
and he didn't even know what a synonym was.
Yeah. And how's he doing over there?
Pretty good. He's good with people. I don't know. He's a rapper. I showed you him. I don't want to say his name, but he's
Dude, I
a
have
great
this
rapper.
thing. I like to lie to strangers, especially when I'm really drunk, and I just tell them I'm on Netflix. Because like my idea is like in their head, like these people are gonna go type in Mike Eaton on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then someone at Netflix is gonna be looking at it like, why'd 40 people search for this person that's not on here? Like, we gotta find out about this Mike Eaton guy. And I started doing it before I'd even done like any open mics. Like I did my first open mic in 2016, and then I didn't like really start comedy until 2018. But the whole time I was just lying and saying I was a comedian to people because it felt good.
Yeah.
And one time I did it, I was flying from LA to Austin. I had a layover in Phoenix, and I wanted to take a dab on the plane.
Oh.
It was the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I was like, what can I get away with?
Did you mention that you were on Xanax?
I wasn't on it yet.
Oh, okay.
I took the Xanax later, but so I get on the plane and I take a dab in the bathroom, and when I'm coming back, a piece of my dab rig falls off and lands in this couple's lap. And I'm like, oh no. like that's and it's all sticky.
It's a gooey glass.
It's all sticky from weed,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like a glass thing. And I'm like, hey, can I have that back? And they're like, what is it? And I'm like, it's a toy. You know? So they hand me this thing back. So we get to the connecting flight in Phoenix. So I'm sitting at the airport bar, and I'm all like freaked out about this. So I take a bunch of Xanax. I took like 2 milligrams of Xanax,
Yeah.
and then started drinking.
Full Z-bar, huh?
Yeah. And then the couple comes and sits next to me, and they're like, hey, were you smoking weed in the bathroom? And I got so panicked. I was like, no, I was jacking off. And
Not
then
a felony.
And then I thought about it. And I was like, I dropped a sticky toy in their lap. Like, I can't say I was jacking off. Like, sorry, that was in my asshole. you
Yeah.
know? So I was like, yeah, I was smoking weed. And they're like, oh, what do you do? Are you not worried about like getting fired if you get caught? And I was like, well, I'm going to talk about it at work. You know, like I'm a comedian. And they're like, oh, have we seen you anything? And I was like, yeah, perfect time to lie. I'm on Netflix. Like,
No way.
fucking, yeah, I'm on
Well,
Netflix.
there's a huge flaw in the social fabric of humanity that the most successful people all have one thing in common, and they're all liars. So if you want to get ahead in life, just lie a bunch. Personally, I don't like that route, but it works.
Sure.
Oh, so I get to Austin. The Xanax is starting to hit. I walk into the rental car companies and I say, "Who has the fanciest car?" And the guy at Alabama's like, "I have a Camaro." So I'm like, fucking sold, dude. So I rent the Camaro. I get full coverage. I drive it downtown. I wreck into a guardrail, and I'm like, "Hey, I got hit." They just bring me a new car. I was like, "This is."
I have a very similar story.
I was like, this is insane that it works that way. So I leave, I go downtown, I end up just having a great time on 6th Street. I get an ass tattoo. And I tell this story on stage because it's real. So I get an ass tattoo, and I don't know why I got it, but it's of an avocado, and it says Asvocado.
It's great.
So I was like, what the fuck is that about? So I wake up the next morning, I have a different car than I remember renting. Like, I'm so confused. And then I try to figure it out, and I go back down to 6th Street, I take more Xanax, and I run into the couple from the bar. And they're like, Mike, we looked, your stuff got taken down off Netflix. You're not there anymore.
Shut the fuck up.
And I have to be like, oh no, that's terrible. How am I going to eat?
It's a 2-year contract. You don't know.
Like, it was-
You'd never understand. You don't do comedy, the comedy.
I just immediately went to like being sad. I was like, oh, what do I do? Guys, you got to get me back on Netflix. Send them an email or something.
The statute of limitations just ran out on this story.
Yeah.
I got a very, very similar story. I was renting, this was before I knew Mike, years before.
Yeah.
I was renting a car in Dallas. I was on a layover and I missed my flight because I was on a bunch of Xanax and drinking. So I got, I don't drive drunk ever. I'm not just saying that. I am already a terrible driver.
I didn't ask.
But I was
I just
driving
assumed
drunk.
you did, yeah.
I was driving drunk this time, and I was on Xanax, which is a terrible thing to do. But I got the full coverage, and I put this on my Snapchat story. I just found the video like the other day, and I'm just filming me driving the car, and then just flooring it into poles and walls, and I'm just running into shit, laughing hysterically. I think I had the car. I was on a 24-hour layover. I don't know what else happened in this time frame.
Yeah. Where at? What city?
In Dallas.
Okay.
I was flying from California to New York, layover in Dallas, and I bring it back. The car is all fucked up.
Yeah.
This black lady's working, and she's like, "What the hell happened to your car?" And I was like, "Oh, this guy hit me." And she was like, "Well, did you call the police?" And I was like, "Nah, you know they don't ever do anything." And she's like, "Well, damn, all right." And that was it. And then I just
No shit.
and then I did that 6 more times, and then I went into Enterprise, and they're like, "You're banned for life from here."
No shit.
And I was like, "Oh, it took you long enough, but
Yeah.
if that's the case, why are you still holding my ID and credit card?"
Right.
And then he was like, "Oh, here's that back." Went over to Hertz, smooth sailing.
Yeah. And your reign of terror never fucking ended
I did. After that, I was like, I'm gonna need to rent cars in the future.
in your life. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a useful service.
I was a young boy.
Sure.
Vandalism was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shit. I mean, you're a guy that it looks like it's a lot of fun. Like it's still a lot of fun for you.
Have you done any fun crimes that like the statute of limitations have run out on?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Isn't that like a fun thing you're waiting on? Like you have all these time bombs. Like, ooh, one day I can talk about this.
There's a ton, but like then you start to look at these fucking celebrities, like like Danny Masterson, when you're like, or Bill Cosby. I didn't rape anybody.
Yeah.
I want that clear.
Yeah.
But we've been anti-rape for a long time on this show.
Yeah.
A long time before it was trendy. We've been anti-rape on this show, but no, we. You don't know what they're gonna bring up anymore. You're like, hey, dude, are we good on that, or is that thing fine, or whatever the fuck it is? And yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've said a lot of fucked up shit. So if I ever get canceled, I'm gonna be a rapper.
are you?
That's my backup plan.
If I get canceled, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Gone, social media, gone, all of it, gone. Just disappear and be like, all right, great, that's what happened. That was that.
Dude, if I get canceled, I'm just going to black out for everything for 6 months, and then I'll just come back.
You
I'll
think
come
so?
back as a Christian.
Okay.
You know that guy,
Milo.
Boonk Gang?
Milo did that too.
Oh yeah,
Boonk Gang he got famous on social media for stealing stuff.
yeah. He would literally just rob places.
Like,
he would
he-
just walk into Popeyes and grab his own chicken, and they'd
No
be like,
And then he would
shit.
just go, Boonk Gang, and then just run out. And there's just hundreds of videos of him committing crimes and then running away and filming it, yelling Boonk Gang.
I
And
want to
then-
say it's insulting to comedy, but it was very fun to watch.
Very
Yeah.
fun to watch. So that guy decided now I love Jesus and I've repented, and he's got 3 million followers on Instagram.
So Milo Yiannopoulos.
Yeah.
He did the same thing.
I haven't heard it from him in a while.
Dude, so because he was on the show during like the height of his shit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And he was a really funny, smart guy, by the way.
Obviously.
We
Yeah,
did
I totally forgot he existed. I used to listen to him all the time.
All the time.
And then he said that he was happy that he got raped as a kid, and everyone was like, "You're
You're done, yeah.
Which,
we
he
did a
can
f-
say that.
We did a fucked up episode in a hotel room with him where we were in Newark, New Jersey, and he lives in New Jersey, and he goes, whenever you're in town, just hit me up and I'll do the show. And I was like, hey, so we have this layover in Newark. We're gonna rent the suite. It was the shittiest hotel of all time, and we had him come up to the suite and we filmed it, and it's up on our YouTube channel somewhere. But he was really fucking funny, and he was married to this black dude.
Yeah.
And he's got kids and some other shit, and he was just like, "Yeah, I'm good in life. Like, I made enough money, and I don't really give a fuck." And then he popped up like a year ago, and he said that he'd converted to like Christianity and all this other shit, and I don't know what happened to him.
Shit.
Yeah,
That's such a hard niche to get into, is the converted gay Christian, because they want you to denounce gayness if you're going to go full Jesus.
and
I thought the Pope said you can be gay and Christian
I
now.
think he did.
he denounced
I
gayness.
think he did. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's the worst. That's the thing I hate the most, is people that are gay that can't be gay.
Well, you can just pray it away.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Mike Pence did. So
No, the Pope said the Bible allows you to be gay.
no, and then he took it back.
Oh.
Yeah. So
He
what
got a
happened
lot of-
was
lot
you
of
got a
trouble.
lot of shit, and it went on for about 2 years. And truthfully, it's all money,
Politics, money,
Well,
yeah.
money,
Dude, I wanna
So
see what's in those Vatican
The gays
balls.
weren't spending enough money with the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck this, we're out of here, and no more gays.
Well, yeah, they're too busy getting paid for being priests.
yeah. I mean,
They're
for real, they
taking
were
money,
like,
not
we're
making
done.
it.
Yeah. So
But speaking of Milo, I was watching Ben Shapiro the other day talk about the wet ass pussy thing, about how he was
It was on our show, yeah.
Yeah.
That was on your show?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I saw that clip, and he was like, come on, I was joking. And I was like, no, you don't get to do that. You're not a comedian.
Yeah, so I fact-checked it later. Because I was like, yo, dude, what? Like, is that real? You know,
Yeah.
it's a convenient answer, and it's really funny. I went back into his archive of shit. Apparently, yes, he's been doing that for years.
He
and
does.
I didn't know it. But because he wasn't Ben Shapiro yet, he does he'll try a bunch of things where you're just like, oh, all right, cool. And like in real life, we had lunch with him for like 4.5 hours one day. He invited us over to his place. Very smart, very fucking funny, and like, he was in on the bit a lot more than, you know. I was like, all right, great. Like, good dude all the way around.
So when I moved to LA, I moved into a house with 3 other dudes. 2 of them were in an awesome band called Thompson's Rage, and the third one was a loan officer who owned the house. It was this awesome dude named Cole Strange. He's a veteran. He does home loans for veterans, his VA guru shit. He's awesome. But Cole loves Ben Shapiro, and Cole is also extremely frugal. So Cole lived in the back house, and we lived in the main house, and that was
Jewish?
where the only bathroom. No, just he's dating a Jewish girl, but yeah.
That's worse.
Yeah, no, it's not. I married one. They're great. So,
You're proving my point.
so there's only one shower for all 4 of us dudes. Cole had to wake up and go to work early in the morning to do adult work. So all 3 of us would wake up at 7:30 every morning to Cole playing Ben Shapiro and taking a shower. So my alarm clock for like 2 years was Ben Shapiro's nasally ass voice.
Oh, that's funny.
And it was so fucking funny just because.
Did it ever intercept your dreams?
In California, there are not a lot of people that are Ben Shapiro fans, and there's not a lot of right-leaning people, especially.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I would go out of town, because I'm like a piece of shit. I'm on like Dan's side. I hate everybody.
Yeah.
So like, I'd go out of town, and Cole would like hang a Trump flag on my door just to fuck with me. But Ben Shapiro, like, as much as I like some of the stuff he says, and as much as I appreciate him being in on the bit, he was my alarm clock for 2 years, and I hate him. With every fiber of my being, if I ever hear him talk, I'm going to start punching him so I can go back to sleep. Like,
You know, the wildest shit about him was everybody, you're right, in California is left, and they fucking hated him. He was shooting that entire time in the Valley.
incredible.
Yes.
Incredible.
And so when we got the address, I was like, oh, fuck, I know where this is at, because I used to use this casting director over there.
Yeah.
But it was in, like, Van Nuys.
Wow.
Yeah, where you were like, you know, you pass Vivid, you pass all the shit.
Yeah.
And you used to get to this you would go to this nondescript building similar to this, where you're just like, yo, where the fuck am I? And we went up to like, I think it was like the 7th floor. As soon as you get out of the elevator, you're signing a bunch of NDAs and whatever, and people are after him all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And I asked him when we were at lunch, I was like, how do you fucking walk around this city with this? And he was like, well, with an armed guard. Like, for real? And he goes, yeah.
Is the address here public?
I don't think so.
Because you had a fan come in the other day.
A bunch. So if they hit us up on Instagram, we'll just give them the address, and then anybody's welcome to come in and watch the show.
We get mail too all the time.
Yeah. So I would imagine
It's pretty public.
I would imagine it is, but not that we care, because everybody's pretty fucking cool, and then there's so many guns in here that it's like great.
Yeah.
Dan's just looking for an excuse to fucking
shoot somebody?
have a
Where?
suicide kill.
Where are they?
It's like,
Yeah, fucking dare him. If you push this button, one pops out right here.
Yeah, there was one taped under here for a while.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it's gone now. Yeah, but Dan carries one in. Mine's usually in like my backpack. I get one in the truck, and it's just like, all right, cool, man.
Yeah,
What are they
Texas concealed carry, baby.
Well, now it's open, so you can do no license, no whatever. It's just like, hey,
I got a gun.
there you go. Yeah, you need a license for it? No, you don't, sir.
Yeah.
Open
I can't
carry
have a gun
too?
because I get sad.
Open carry.
All right.
Yeah.
I've never taken my gun out, even though
Actually-
I can. I'm pretty sure it's just concealed.
I think it's just concealed. Yes.
which is worse.
They keep passing.
I would
like,
rather someone open carry than concealed.
You keep seeing it on the news of like all the bills that the governor's passing, and you're just like, what the fuck? Okay, cool.
It came out just in time for the abortion ban too, because you
Yeah.
can just take care of that problem right there.
Boom. I mean, because there's not a lot
Did
of
you hear
flights of stairs here.
Did you hear the Texas? A Texas judge is refusing to enforce the abortion ban.
Yes. Yeah.
Where?
And then also they're suing it. I think Biden's suing the state for it as well. And like,
I think Biden should only be allowed to sue if he gives opening remarks.
Could you imagine?
Well,
As
abortion, my
ladies,
my little friend Tandy used to rub my leg hairs.
I don't think that all children should be born so that I can smell their hair. That's my official stance.
Oh, fuck, dude. I don't know what's going to happen with all this shit.
Me either.
And I also don't care who anybody votes for either. I'm like, hey,
At
dude,
all.
that's what a democracy is. And you just be a fucking hypocrite if you were like,
It's awesome.
You got to, yeah.
I was talking about how ancient Egypt was probably a more advanced civilization than this, and someone was like, "No, how is that possible? Like, what could have caused the collapse of such an advanced civilization?" And I'm like, I don't know. They probably had like a president like Biden at the time, and
It's always
we're
pussy.
probably pretty close to.
It's always
recreating that.
pussy.
It's always pussy.
That's what it is. When I was in a 12-step program, one time these two dudes came in from Chicago to be guest speakers, and one of them, I swear to God, he was just like JB Smoove.
Okay.
He looked and sounded just like him, and he got up there and he's like, "A man will ruin his life over colors, pink and green." And it was just like, man, that's so true.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I've never seen somebody consume this many liquids before on a show.
Yeah, he's...
That's
yeah,
an energy
feel it.
drink, 2 White Claws, a beer, and then you're on a topo now.
Yeah.
Well, I want to stay hydrated. I also don't want to get tired, and I want to catch a little buzz.
Sure. I like all of that.
yeah. It's a great decision.
The old athlete's cocktail.
Hey, so
as
you're a
Rocket
great
would
person
say.
to ask for advice on this.
Go ahead.
We're doing our first GiggleBoys live,
Oh,
November
shit.
20th.
Where at?
At Easy's Listening Lounge.
Okay.
So it's
Native
awesome.
Hostel.
This dude, Evan
Yeah.
Duvall, has started this awesome little studio in the back of Native.
Yeah.
'Cause they have so much awesome space there.
Tons.
But he built out a really great sound quality studio,
Mm-hmm.
and every Wednesday they do comedy there, and it's fucking great. And then Thursdays they do live podcasts, but we're gonna do a Saturday live GiggleBoys. So we're gonna have a live Worm Report, but
It's not the best for stand-up, but it is the best for a live podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what advice can you give us?
I would have people from the crowd come up.
We're already doing that.
We got a microphone set up to do that.
Because you want to hear from your listeners and like their crazy stories and what they think about you guys and everything else. And,
We're also doing it live, so we'll be interacting with the live chat,
100%, and that's the best. So like when we do these live shows and we actually go live with like
Do we have any-
listeners and shit like that, you'll get wild ass shit. I mean, for us,
Do we have any live chatters right now?
I'm not on there, but I can be. The best one, because you don't know who you're going to get, was we were in Florida. We were doing this episode with a girl who specialized in clown pornography.
What?
Yeah.
What is that?
And she was in character.
Chorophilia? Yeah.
I don't know. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's chorophobia is the fear of clowns.
All right.
Chorophilia is love of clowns.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I still remember her name. Her name was Miss Quinn or that Miss Quinn or something like that on Twitter.
Perfect. Colin Quinn transitioned.
Yeah.
Got into clown porn.
Yeah. But during it, so she was part of the first interview, and we started bringing up live people. And we did it at somebody's house. We did it at a listener's house, and it was fucking rad. One guy was in the hot tub of this guy's house because we were doing it at the house. There was like 200 people there at this house. We were doing this live show, and the guy's in the hot tub, and he's just fucking screaming, drunk or whatever. And I was like, "Come on up, dude." Where? He's like, "Oh man, I fucking love you guys," or whatever. And I was like, "Awesome, man, I love you too." I was like, "What's your story? Where you from?" And he goes, "Man, I'm from Mississippi, and I just got out here."
Ooh, we have 221 in the live chat.
Okay. So he goes, I go, "Great. What do you mean just out here? Like in Orlando?" We were shooting in Orlando, Florida. And he goes, No, just out of prison. And I was like, "What'd you go to prison for?" And he goes, "Attempted murder." And I was like, "Oh, shit." And so he starts telling this story, and like, he's getting closer and closer, and I'm backed up against this. There's a pool behind us.
Yeah.
So like we have all this electrical equipment and shit, and I'm like, I have nowhere to go. He's here, Dan's here, and I'm sitting next to this guy, and like he was friendly and all that shit, but like it could have turned dark pretty quick. But I was just like, holy shit! And like,
Yeah.
him and his lady were in the hot tub of this house, just buck naked in front of like 200 people. And
Incredible.
Yeah.
Dude, prison people are so fun.
But that's why you need to have people up on stage because
Yeah.
you don't know who your listeners are. Where you're like,
Yeah.
holy shit, yeah, let's go.
I've got to imagine if somebody likes watching us that they're probably insane.
Yeah.
That's
they
gotta-
have to be.
That's got to be. I mean, we get some very fun messages already on the GiggleBoys Instagram.
Yeah.
Some very cool people. But yeah, it's.
Mike, you're on the show. You don't have to watch it.
Eli.
Yeah, or Eli. You're on.
I'm reading the live chat.
Yeah. You should probably do the show, but
Yeah. He's a professional.
that'll live there forever. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah, but have those people up.
Yeah.
Do some type of weird fucking giveaway or do something fucking wild there. We did a gig in...
We'll give everyone herpes.
Yeah, we did a gig in Denver, Colorado, where
I'm
we were
married.
giving away tattoos on stage.
Ah, fuck. See, I was going to say,
Tattoo Glory Hole was the name of the
We could have Zach
sketch we
Bogus.
did.
because directly across from where the studio is where Eli got his ball sack tattoo of the Louis
Oh,
Vuitton
shit.
logo.
Yeah. Get somebody to come over and see if one of your listeners will get tattooed light on stage.
Yeah.
We did Tattoo Glory Hole. We made a glory hole. You can put your arm or your leg through, and then you got a tattoo, and whatever it was, it was. And we were doing back-to-back nights
fun.
in Denver. What the fuck was the name of that? Like the Lonesome Dove or something like that?
Perfect.
Comedy place. Either
It's
way.
like a steakhouse on 6th Street.
Yeah.
It's good steaks.
It's like the Crying Dove or whatever the fuck it was. Anyways, the first one was Harambe because that was big at the
Yep.
time. Harambe had just, I think, died maybe like 2 months or something
R.I.P.
earlier, obviously. He would have loved your show, by the way.
Yeah.
He would have if he was here. And then the other one was like, I think like a fucking AK-47. Like,
Perfect.
yeah. But it was like huge.
Yeah, that's very fun.
Yeah, so shit like that is always a fucking blast where you're like, all right, great, let's see how wild we can take this. Because
Yeah.
the next one we're tattooing Hillary Clinton onto somebody.
Oh, fun.
She made a tweet like 5 days before the election in 2016 where she said, happy birthday to this future president, and it was her as a kid.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's how convinced she was that she was going to win. So you have to get the whole tweet, including the retweets, the likes, all of it.
It just goes down
Gross.
your entire torso to your foot.
So that's going to happen in a couple weeks.
Damn.
Yeah.
That poor soul. What an incredible tattoo to have.
But
though.
it's the greatest tweet ever. I don't know how you beat it.
Yeah. Do you
With
know
Gary's face.
Do you know Everett Byram? So he is one of the funniest people. I actually found him through Eli, but he tweets professional Twitters all the time and Facebooks and says outlandish, crazy stuff. But he one time commented on the Facebook for Arby's, just like, hey, I have a coupon for a $5 beefy deluxe. And Arby's replies like, we don't have that sandwich here. And he goes, my wife left me for these sandwiches. Please give me the beefy deluxe. And it's just like a hilarious troll. But it got so popular that Steve Harvey put it on his show. And Steve Harvey read it as if Everett was commenting in earnest. He's like, this guy doesn't even know they don't make a beefy deluxe. It's just like, those kind of tweets are my favorite for sure.
Yeah.
That dude's incredible.
Yeah, his at is Rad Milk, and he's one of my favorite.
He's the guy that
accounts.
created the meme about balls being where the pee is stored.
Okay.
The whole pee is stored in the
Yeah,
balls.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
Everett. He's
Okay.
the genius behind that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Like shit, wild shit like that is great. So
Yeah.
do that. And then, do you guys have Patreon?
We do.
Yeah,
Patreon.com/GiggleBoys.
There you go. And what do you guys do on there?
Patreon.com/GiggleBoys. A little of this, little of that.
All of our
More
old
this than that.
episodes, we put stand up. We had a roast battle, me versus Eli, that we put on there.
Who won?
Me.
Yeah.
I had a roast battle against Casey recently, which was super interesting because Casey's comedy is very abstract.
Yes.
And bizarre. So getting to
And
hear
that's Casey Rocket, the worm.
if he's still here, he was. But
he left.
he wrote roast jokes for me. My absolute favorite was he said, Mike has tried to kill himself twice. One time is successful, and they brought him back to life by putting an apple pie in a windowsill, and he floated back to life. I was like, God damn, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, and I got him with he looked like a Cabbage Patch Kid that grew up to be poor.
The old pie in the windowsill trick. Have you seen Black Dynamite?
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yes.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Listeners, watch that.
Yeah, they know. I used to make a bunch of those movies where it was spoofs of like 70s movies.
Yeah.
But it was terrible where you could see like the boom guy in the mirror.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
That's how I want to do my music video.
Have you seen Squid Game?
Not yet. So, dude, that's what I'm trying to get my wife into next. Because
Yeah?
if I start it and it's great, without you know you're married, where it's
Yes.
just like if you start it before the other person and it's great, and you're like, oh fuck, do I go all the way through this or do I tell them to come?
I'm
along
very
the
lucky.
journey?
Yeah,
My
I just
wife-
went through that too.
Yeah.
My wife's a narcoleptic. not really, but with TV shows. So we started watching it, and we got like 4 or 5 episodes in, and we're just hooked. And then she falls asleep. So the next episode's starting, so I wake her up, I'm like, hey, babe, can I start the next episode, or do we watch this together? You watch it. Like, yes, I just finished it.
You got to record that.
We got to discuss when you finish it, because I'm upset, but I'm also pretty happy.
You were upset about it?
The ending's stupid.
I don't want to spoil it for you.
Yeah, don't spoil it for the audience because I haven't seen it yet. But the only ending that got me recently was the Mayor of Easttown on HBO with Kate Winslet.
I didn't watch it. Spoil
There's some
it for me.
Pizzagate elements in the show too.
Spoil it for me.
Yes. I'll say this without spoiling for everybody else, just in case. At the end of it, she ended up being the most unlikable character ever, and she didn't murder anybody, didn't kill anybody, anything else.
Wow.
It was a decision she made against a friend, and I was like, oh my God, you fucking bitch. And it was like, I love that they ended the show like that, but I also hated the ending so much because I was like, why did you do that?
Being unlikable is pretty on point for Delco. So
And it felt like it, and just because you work here and he's from there where that show took place, but like, dude, when I was watching it, I was just like, oh my God, why did you make that decision?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever hated a character or a show so much. Like, you look at Dexter. That was just like a shitty fucking ending to a great show. Right?
Yeah.
And that pissed me off.
How'd that end?
How I Met Your Mother and everything else. They're doing another Dexter. Here's how bad it ended.
I watched it, but I don't remember.
Yeah, well, I won't tell anybody just in case you're watching it. Cause
It's so old. Fuck.
No.
People still bench shit.
Here's how bad it ended. They shot 2 more seasons, and they start in like 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, they went back. When you say that the show is sold, that's how long people have been this angry about it, to where they actually went back into the network, and they were like, let's do 2 more seasons.
Yeah.
And
That's how I felt about the end of Weeds, too.
I
got so
terrible.
committed to that show, and then by the end of it, I wanted Nancy Botwin to die in a fire.
Yeah, that started out. That was one of my favorite shows.
Same.
And then the later ones were just like, you could tell it was written by an old woman.
Dude, my like
She was.
innermost workings, like
Gingy Kumani or something.
Kenji or... Yeah,
Over
yeah.
under how many times you jerked off to Nancy Botwin?
0. Absolutely 0.
You're
I don't find her
a liar.
sexually attractive at all.
on.
Maybe
No.
once.
Come on. Really?
I'd fuck her with a gun to my head, but that's it.
When she used to do the straw with
I'd
the
fuck
iced
her with a
coffee.
gun to Mike's head.
Oh, dude, I hated. So me and my wife talked about it. We tried to rewatch it, and every time she's drinking her fucking coffee with the straw like that, I was like, I wish Chris Brown was around to just snuff this bitch in the face
Exactly,
like she deserves.
you slap it out of her hand and then you just put your cock in her mouth and you just
She was
face
hot.
fuck her.
She was
I thought
such
we're
a dirty
anti-rape.
whore. I couldn't get into it.
You know who she was married to in real life?
Who?
Billy Crudup, one of my favorite actors.
Really?
What is
Yeah.
he from?
And
that
then
name sounds familiar.
he started dating a younger lady, and
Good for
he moved on, and then she blew up. Like
We
the
call that
show
trading it in the
exploded.
biz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is Billy Crudup in it?
Yeah.
He was one of the leads in Almost Famous.
Never seen it.
I just watched Almost Famous.
What is wrong with both
Great,
of you?
great. I don't know. I like
Why did we sign? Like who?
entertainment-wise, you guys know nothing about like the entertainment industry, but you're in it.
Well, yeah, we
Dude,
haven't worked in it.
I was talking about this with a couple episodes ago. Asan Ahmad was on. And I was saying for a very long time, I hated George Carlin. And I was like, what a hacky piece of shit. Just this unfunny loser. And then I listened to a history of stand-up comedy. And I was like, oh, he's a god.
Yeah.
He's an absolute god. I saw the tail end of his career. It's like going to see the Stones live right now. Like, you don't get any kind of taste for what they were like in their prime.
Well,
and you
good,
miss
though.
out on who they, like...
Mick Jagger. Is still
Mick Jagger,
killing it.
dude.
Yeah.
If you go to a show, because they're playing in Austin here on the 20th.
He's got to be
of
drinking
November.
baby blood.
Dude, go watch it.
Yeah.
It will alter your mind. He will run around for 2.5 hours straight. And now everybody else is kind of within a 5 feet radius of
Sure.
where they should be. Mick Jagger runs around for 2.5 hours, and you're watching it the entire time, and you're like, I'm a fucking piece of shit, dude. Like, I am a piece of shit.
You had me at Alter My Mind.
Yeah. So take some drugs. They're going down to the Texas Motor Speedway, I think.
Oh, fun.
Yes, they're right over there. I just saw...
Or Circuit of the Americas?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I just saw Chris Stapleton there a few weeks ago.
Oh, nice. How was that?
Fucking great. Jesus Christ, that guy's amazing.
Very cool.
But yeah, that will fucking blow your mind away. The best ending, though, to any TV show in the history of endings is 6 Feet Under.
Never seen it.
I know you haven't.
But Shameless.
Oh, so Shameless got, what, 2 more years?
Oh, no, they finished it.
Oh, it's done.
They finished it.
It's too many episodes.
They ended it, and the ending was beautiful.
Was it really?
It was. Because
Does Frank die?
Can I
should.
spoil it? Yeah, I'll spoil it. Spoilers. Frank dies, and in the last episode, as he dies in the hospital, all the nurses are talking shit about him for being a frequent flyer, for being an alcoholic, and they go to check him, and then his spirit floats above the city of Chicago, and he looks down, and you see the lives of everybody besides Fiona. And they've all, like, grown up, and, like, he's given them all something.
Oh, that's great.
It's, like, a very nice, like, they didn't get better, but they learned how to get better with what they had.
Okay.
Like, it was such a beautiful ending to it. 'Cause I stopped watching Shameless because it gave me such terrible anxiety.
Same.
Yeah.
So one of my good friends is in it, Steve Howie. He's been on the show numerous times, and I just talked to him. How long did it end? When was
like a year ago, maybe? Less than a year
the
ago?
season finale?
Yeah, the series finale was less than a year ago because
Shit.
a friend of mine
I never
that's a
even
comedian.
said like, oh, hey, congratulations. I didn't know. Because I'm with you. Like, and this is what I told him. I was like, look, the show is so good that I feel horrific with every single episode, and it was just so fucking heavy that I was like, I can't do this week in and week out. I was like, man, I can appreciate how great this is. You guys deserve all the awards and everything else, but like, it's so fucking heavy.
That's how I felt about Breaking Bad.
Oh, really?
I couldn't get into. There was like Game of Thrones and Sons of Anarchy going on at the same time, and I was like, I only have enough emotional capability for one of these at a time.
Yeah, Breaking Bad was week after week. I was like, like I was all in on Breaking Bad.
Eli, you made the right choice. Jax Teller's story needed to be told. I was a big fan of that.
Dude, Game of Thrones, so I was against doing it. I was like, hey, listen, I like my incest porn old-fashioned, no dragons, you know? But someone was like insistent that I have to watch it, and they were like, all right, you have to watch this episode. And I can't remember which episode it was, but it's two guys are fighting in the episode, and the dude thinks he's won, and he's like showing off a little bit.
Season 4, The Viper.
Yeah, the Viper. He's like showing off, and this big monster of a man is like, oh, you think you're so cool? And then he grabs him, and he squeezes his skull to death, and he pushes his eyes in and just crunches his skull, and it's so gory and vivid.
Yeah.
And that was my only introduction to the show. I was like, I don't want to watch this. That's scary.
That's funny.
Is that against UFC rules?
Yeah, you can't thumb in the eye. His thumbs were in his eyes, and he pushed them back through his skull and then shattered his skull with his hands.
What if you just crushed their skull? If you were capable of such.
I feel like that's legal. If you just put your hands against
I
someone's
want
head.
Ngannou to try that move. Because I feel like he's got the raw strength to just fucking...
Yeah.
But it's another
You can
large
slap
man.
people.
You can slap?
Yeah.
Have you watched the Professional Slappers?
Oh yeah, big fan. So they were at the Jake Paul fight, the one where he knocked out Ben Askren.
Yeah.
We were doing a live show of it, and they cut away to that, and I was like, this is just as entertaining as what the fuck we're watching.
I loved his walkout.
Fucking awesome. Oh, dude, he's
Ben Askren, just him and then a guy holding a sign says, "Hi, I'm Ben" in Sharpie.
the best is what he did to troll Tyson Fury's brother this week. Did you guys see that on his Instagram stories?
No.
So everybody's bitching at Jake to fight a real boxer, right?
Yeah.
There was a guy on the undercard. It was Tyson Fury's younger brother. So Tyson Fury's fighting tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's the world
Did
champion.
he get in trouble for beating up a Make-A-Wish kid, or was that made up?
It was made up.
Damn
he
it.
should have.
What do you think about Jake Paul?
I think they're very, very smart businessmen.
Yeah.
And everything that they're doing is so fucking insane.
I don't
when
like him.
And that's fine. I don't. If I had to pick one, it would probably be Logan.
Yeah,
but,
Logan's smart. He was entertaining on Vine.
But both are very, very smart. And like, dude, when
I think Jake's just riding his wave, or was until now.
But didn't he do all of what's it
But
called?
here's the reverse of it: is Jake is actually winning these fights. So like, Logan hasn't. I don't think Logan's won a fight yet, has he?
I don't think so. At least
Didn't he
against
lose
no
to
one
that
noticeable.
KSI guy or
Yeah,
whatever?
he
Lost
lost
him
his-
twice.
lost his-
Yeah, he got
seems
knocked
twice.
out by Mayweather, and then he held him up to keep it going.
Yeah, I was there. So we were sitting ringside with Chuck Liddell for that.
That's so cool.
It was so fucking muggy there that, to me,
Everyone lost their wallets.
no.
So muggy?
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Everyone had cups of coffee.
It was an open air stadium in Miami. That was the fucking hottest of all time. And
Yeah,
like, dude,
gross.
they were just hanging on each other. To me, when he hit him with that shot, just because they were hanging on each other, it looked like Mayweather was just expecting it anyways. I don't think he knew. That's my guess, because we were just sitting there and it was so fucking. I mean, we were drenched in sweat. This was an open air stadium, and like those guys were in the ring, and I'm exhausted watching it. So
Yeah.
like, it's just the way it felt. I know on TV it probably looked like shit, but like in there it was cool, and you were like, all right, you understood it. But I think they're smart. When I walked into that stadium and looked up at the fucking huge jumbotron and saw a real fight card photo of Logan Paul versus Mayweather, I was like, these brothers are brilliant.
Yeah.
They're brilliant. And now Jake is actually beating people. So like, you still have to train. You still have to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really fucking difficult what he's doing. So
I'm going to kick his ass one day.
everybody says that, and they will not.
Eli, I really hope that. I hope that we can get this network and your career big enough to do a Drinking Bros Eli Halper versus Jake Paul, and I will commentate ringside while getting extremely high.
What other
And
comedians?
I'm going to be his walkout.
What other comedians are fighting people?
Luis J. Gomez is fighting somebody, right?
Yep.
Brendan Schaub, if you can call him a comedian, is fighting
I
people.
wouldn't call him a comedian, and he's
Okay.
also not fighting people.
He's not fighting anybody anymore, but not a lot.
Luis J. Gomez, though, I want to spar with him.
Yeah, I mean, he's down. He trains like a couple times a week, I'm pretty sure. He's fighting someone. Isn't it Wolf? Not Josh Wolf, but...
Josh Wolf would be hilarious.
Dude, he's been in Austin a handful of
the
times. I
skate-
keep
the
missing
skate-
him.
the
I'm a
skateboarding
huge
guy.
fan of that guy.
Oh, man, why am I forgetting?
He was on our show.
He was on Chuck's show.
God damn it. Yes, you're right.
Shaved head, lots of tattoos, whatever.
Look up the last episode of Icebreakers. Ellis.
Well, Jason Ellis.
Yes, he's fighting Jason Ellis.
Nice.
Yeah.
What, boxing or MMA?
I believe MMA.
Oh.
Because Jason Ellis had fought MMA before, yes. And then Lewis said that he could fight him, and they were talking shit back and forth. And I think, Bisping was like training him a little bit, and then
Yeah.
Lewis was posting all these videos, getting in shape. Because it's really about being in shape. Like if you're in shape, it can go those rounds.
Who was Bisping against on that UFC like game show, Ultimate Fighter or whatever?
Jason Mayhem Miller?
No, I think it was Dan Henderson, maybe.
Yeah.
Dude, Jason Mayhem Miller is do you guys know about him?
Yeah.
He's a fucking character,
But
man.
Georgia,
gotta watch
do you
his
know? Was he
interviews.
against Hendo?
Yeah, it was against Hendo, I believe, in the Ultimate
So
Fighter.
I watched. That's the only season of that show I ever watched, and I developed such a hatred for Michael Bisping that I was like, I hope this guy gets raped in front of his family.
Oh, yeah.
And then because he was just such a piece of shit, and just you fucking like, I hope an American comes and murders him. Like I got so patriotic about it. And then the more I've watched him, he's such a nice dude, and like he's a great person. He's a great fighter, and he's awesome to listen to talk. I was like, oh, all right. I was just they got me. I fell for all of the marketing.
Yeah.
I hated a British person for being British.
I always fall for the marketing and everything else. Like even yesterday, like the Wilder Fury press conference and all their bullshit. Like I'm like, dude, I'll buy that tomorrow night. I'll be watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Bisping fought Jason Mayhem Miller, and this guy has the most insane walkouts ever. He's just like in a spacesuit dancing with like 15 Japanese schoolgirls.
Yeah.
And then he just comes out, and he's a good fighter too, or he was. And then I looked up his interviews, and he has this one where it starts off, and he's just talking about like how he could beat the shit out of all the camera guys, and everyone was like, "Yeah, I could kick all you guys' asses." Well, martial arts. And then and then he's just like sipping his drink, and then he's like, "Yeah, I beat people up for a living. That's what I do." And then he just tosses his glass and just shatters in his backyard. And I'm like, this guy's insane. I love him.
I'm all in on it. That's what all of this shit should be.
Yeah.
It's all entertainment.
Dude, thanks for having me today.
Dude, thank you so much for being on. This was a blast.
Fuck yeah, dude. I appreciate it.
Well, cheers.
GiggleBoys, how do you guys end it?
Usually abruptly and weird.
Yeah.
Well, I would say go to iTunes, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah, give us a 5-star review. We're at like
You have
60
to.
something now.
Yeah.
Let's get to 100.
Do
baby.
smart business things.
That's
Help
the
us with
only
business.
thing that will drive you up into the charts is the reviews on iTunes.
Interesting.
No.
Yeah.
What are you
Well,
waiting for?
Yeah,
Get
why
outta
aren't you
here.
on
Go do
iTunes
it.
yet, you piece of awesome human? I'm a professional.
We will see you next week. We'll not be airing on our usual time of Saturday this week, and this is taking that spot.
Yeah.
And I think it was for the best.
I think so too. Look at that Jesus behind me.
That's Danny Trejo.